You might have heard that on Thursday night, we at CBC Manitoba had our very first Tweetup, and it was a huge success. Hundreds of people came to the CBC building here at 541 Portage to meet and mingle offline, as the social media types like to put it. The idea is to meet face-to-face the people you follow on Twitter and meet others who do the same thing. Now, I'd never been to one before, so I waded into the crowd with my tape recorder to find out what a Tweetup is all about and why people came to ours. Would you tell me your name?
Lynne Robson.
Lynne Robson, and you are?
Tina Lussier.
And so why are you two here today?
Because I really enjoy Tweetups, and I've missed the Tweetups that used to be here in Winnipeg. And it's nice to be able to put faces to the Twitter handles.
And Lynne, for you, what experience do you have with Tweetups?
We came out here from BC a few years ago, and Tweetups are really important there, and taking it offline was really important. Their social media is a little bit different there. So coming home back to Manitoba, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't have any. So when I saw the thing online that there was going to be one, I got very excited and called all my friends.
Now, for those who don't know what they are, what goes on at a Tweetup?
It's taking it offline. It's meeting people that you spend time tweeting with or on Facebooking or whatever it happens to be in social media, and putting a face to behind the handle.
And do you meet people that you wouldn't know otherwise by coming in this kind of offline way?
Oh, for sure. You can meet any type. You can set out to meet anyone you want, starting with Twitter, and then work to take it offline too.
And so you two both work in social media, right?
Yeah.
And so what part does Twitter play in your working life?
Well, as a business, again, I was saying we moved back here from British Columbia. I brought my business as a website developer to Manitoba through Twitter. So I had already met my contact people and the people that I was going to get to work with and people that I wanted to do business with a year before we even actually got on the plane and flew home.
And so how did you do that, though?
I just started following people that were in the Winnipeg market and in the Winnipeg target area and got to know them, started building relationships. That's what social media is supposed to be about, is building relationships. And that's what's important about having Tweetups, is taking that relationship that other step, especially if you're doing this for business, where now, there's that sort of touchy-feely thing that goes on with it. It's not this sort of anonymity going on. So it's important.
Twitter's awesome for research. So if I use Twitter to research contacts. For example, I've got a client who's looking to put on an event, say in Los Angeles. Then what I do is I get on Twitter and I start searching the Twitter lists, and I start finding people in Los Angeles who might be good leads for a client, and I put them on my own list, and I start socializing with that list, so that when she goes to make that phone call, it's not a cold call, it's now a warm call.
So how do you hunt through the Twitter list?
You just search. So it's the same as you would with a Google browser. You can search for location, for example. So if I'm looking to build a list, say, for Los Angeles, then I would find a company in Los Angeles, and then I would look to see what list they're on. And usually they've been put on a list, a geographical list, and then I start looking through that list for the contacts, and then I'll look and see what list they're on. Lists are one of my favorite things about Twitter.
So what's the difference in your view between what Facebook does and what Twitter does?
Well, back in the day, Twitter was, I used to tell my clients, Twitter is like a networking meeting that never ends, and you can join in and leave anytime that you want. And you sort of need to treat it in the same respect as, don't get too businessy. Facebook tends to be a little bit more friendly. At least it used to be. It's becoming a little bit more corporate now and a little bit more businessy, but back in the day, Facebook was where you stalked ex-boyfriends.
In Twitter, there's a language that Twitter uses, abbreviations, hashtags, all that. For those who want to start on Twitter but are a little intimidated when they look at somebody's tweet and go, I'll never be able to decipher that, how do you suggest people who are listening to the radio who say, you know what, I might just try that? What should they do?
Google Google it, and you can find all kinds of gurus online who blog about all the different social media platforms. You can learn anything by doing the research online. That's how I learned social media.
But you have to understand the language of Twitter a bit, right?
And you don't. Just
No?
be yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point is be yourself. Eventually, you'll start picking up little bits and pieces here and there. But for the most part, just figure out how to do it in 140 characters.
How do you deal with the 140 characters?
Tweeting links to my blog posts. Twitter's an end result for sharing. So, yeah, you can share a lot of information by sharing links from your own website to Twitter.
So you're talking about your professional life and Twitter. What about your personal life and Twitter?
Personal life and Twitter? Rant. Yeah, I'm a ranter. So my tweets tend to be 140 character partitions of rants. So, yeah.
Oh, so they may be consecutive tweets.
Yeah, it's like continue, ... because that way they know that you're not done. And then at the end, you do the end rant.
What's your Twitter handle?
A crazy chameleon.
A crazy chameleon, at a crazy chameleon. Okay. And yours?
Tina Lussier, at Tina Lussier. Got onto Twitter originally when I was managing my daughter's acting career. So I signed her up for Twitter, and then I started looking for casting directors and people in the film industry in Canada and following them for her account. And it worked. You know, she would get noticed as long as you have a good profile.
So are you prospecting here tonight?
Always.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll be really honest. Again, getting back to this being back from BC, there were a lot of people that I followed 4 years ago when we were in transition to come out here that I haven't physically met since we've been here. So I've been following them and talking to them online for 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat to see faces, and that's like, you know what? We've been following each other for a long time. It's time to meet. It's time we met.
And those are two of the people that I met at the Tweetup, Tina Lussier and Lynne Robson.